according to everything we're taught. Humans and dinosaurs should never appear together. They're separated by tens of millions of years. And yet, in temples, riverbeds, stone carvings, and ancient objects around the world, they keep showing up side by side. Each discovery has an explanation. Each explanation sounds reasonable. But when you place them next to each other, across different continents, across different cultures, a much bigger question begins to emerge. Not about dinosaurs, but about how we interpret the past. Hidden deep within Cambodia's jungle is the ancient temple of Prohm, where a single carving appears to challenge conventional history. Among the many detailed reliefs, one image stands out, an animal that closely resembles a Stegosaurus. This strange depiction has ignited debate among historians and researchers, while also inspiring alternative interpretations of humanity's past. Built near the famous city of Angkor Thom during the reign of King Jayavarman VII, Prohm once served as a major Buddhist monastery and center of learning in the 12th and 13th centuries. At its peak, the temple supported more than 12,500 people, including 615 dancers, 18 high priests, and 2,700 officials. Evidence of its growth and prosperity remains carved into the countless reliefs that decorate the complex. After the Khmer Empire collapsed in the 15th century, the jungle slowly reclaimed Prohm, hiding it from the world for centuries. It was not until preservation work began in the 21st century that Western researchers re-examined the temple's intricate bas-relief carvings. Conservation teams chose to preserve the site's iconic appearance, leaving the stone structures entwined with the surrounding jungle. The controversial carving, located east of the main sanctuary, depicts an animal with features that strongly resemble a Stegosaurus. This has led to claims suggesting humans may have coexisted with non-avian dinosaurs. While mainstream science dismisses these ideas, more conventional explanations propose that the apparent plates represent lotus leaves or decorative foliage, a recurring motif throughout the temple. Others suggest the figure may be a rhinoceros, chameleon, boar, or a mythical creature similar to those found elsewhere at Prohm. Despite the uncertainty surrounding its true meaning, some young Earth creationists have used the carving to support their beliefs. Another alternative theory suggests the image could be a Stegosaurus added in modern times as a hoax, possibly by individuals connected to film productions that used Prohm as a filming location, including Tomb Raider. However, Prohm is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and scholars have yet to agree on what the so-called dinosaur of Prohm actually represents. At the point where the North and South Paluxy rivers meet in central Texas, an unusual mystery lies hidden beneath the flowing water. Carved into the ancient riverbed are traces of a distant prehistoric landscape once walked by dinosaurs. Among these preserved dinosaur footprints are irregular impressions that have fueled debate for decades, shapes that appear strikingly similar to human footprints. The tracks were first noticed in 1908 by a local schoolboy named Ernest Adams after a major flood exposed them in what is now Dinosaur Valley State Park. Large-scale scientific excavations did not begin until 1935, when paleontologists uncovered numerous trackways embedded in lower Cretaceous limestone. One of the most remarkable findings was a trail known as the chase sequence, showing the footprints of a sauropod group seemingly pursued by a theropod predator. Portions of these trackways are now housed at the Texas Memorial Museum in Austin and the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Scientists determined that the tracks formed during the Cretaceous period, when East Texas was submerged beneath a shallow inland sea. Along the shoreline, tidal flats with soft, wet sediment were regularly crossed by dinosaurs, including the three-toed Acrocanthosaurus, a powerful carnivore measuring between 20 and 30 feet in length. Eventually, a major flood swept across the region, covering the footprints with layers of mud that later hardened, permanently preserving them. Yet the Paluxy River is known not only for its dinosaur tracks, but also for the disputed impressions commonly referred to as man tracks or moccasin tracks. Beginning in the 1930s, these elongated shapes became a focal point for young Earth creationists, who claimed they demonstrated that humans lived alongside dinosaurs. The theory gained wider attention with the release of the 1970 film Footprints in Stone by Stanley Taylor, which led to one of the most human-like trackways being labeled the Taylor Trail. Many researchers remained unconvinced by the human footprint interpretation, especially after some impressions were exposed as deliberate carvings made by locals during the Great Depression. Other marks were identified as natural erosion features caused by river flow. In 1986, researcher Glenn Kubin conducted a detailed analysis and identified V-shaped outlines and claw impressions consistent with three-toed bipedal dinosaurs. Additional studies showed that proportional measurements derived from the footprints did not align with human anatomy, further supporting a dinosaur origin. Still, the unusual length of the impressions remained difficult to explain. In 1989, Kubin suggested the elongated tracks resulted from dinosaurs walking flat-footed, with their metatarsal bones pressing into the mud. This interpretation was later challenged in 2021, when another research team proposed that the elongation was caused by dinosaurs sinking deeply into soft sediment as they moved. As a result, the Paluxy River continues to yield insights gradually, revealing fragments of prehistoric life while sustaining debates that persist today. Dinosaur activity at the site is firmly recorded in stone, while the alleged human footprints remain a compelling but highly disputed chapter in the history of paleontology. In 1944, in the town of Acámbaro, Mexico, German-born merchant Waldemar Julsrud made an astonishing find: a collection of nearly 33,000 ceramic figurines believed to be ancient. Among figures representing a wide range of human types, from bearded Europeans to Sumerian and Egyptian forms, appeared a strange subset depicting creatures that closely resembled dinosaurs. The presence of these figures, seemingly at odds with accepted human history, ignited controversy and fascination that continues to this day. According to the account, Julsrud was riding his horse across local farmland when he unknowingly passed over something hidden beneath the ground. The story claims he stumbled upon the cache by chance and then hired a nearby farmer to dig up the figurines, paying him for each one recovered. From the moment of their discovery, the objects drew intense attention from scholars and archaeologists around the world, all seeking to determine whether the figurines were genuine or fraudulent. Initial thermoluminescence tests suggested the artifacts could date back to around 2500 BC. These findings, however, were later challenged and ultimately dismissed as unreliable. Archaeologist Charles D. Peso examined the figurines and concluded they were modern forgeries. His reasoning cited the lack of surface wear, the absence of hardened soil residue, and the unusually small number of cracks given the fragile nature of the ceramics. He also noted that inconsistent dirt patterns implied the figures had been placed in freshly dug pits rather than buried for thousands of years. Later analyses using updated dating methods indicated that the firing of the ceramics likely occurred around 1939. Even so, young Earth creationists and cryptozoology proponents continue to reference the Acámbaro figurines as support for unconventional interpretations of history. Some of the more extreme theories propose that the figures represent knowledge transferred by interdimensional beings, allegedly bringing information about dinosaurs to early human civilizations. Yet the most credible explanation is far less extraordinary. Evidence points to a local family known for producing ceramic figures inspired by popular films and comic art as the likely creators. Reports suggest Julsrud purchased many of the figurines from this family for 1 peso each, raising the possibility that he acted more as a collector than an accidental discoverer. Viewed this way, the famed horseback discovery appears less accidental and more manufactured. Even so, the Acámbaro figurines remain a source of ongoing debate, continuing to intrigue and divide those who encounter their story. Within the canyons of Utah, the Kachina Bridge area contains an impressive collection of petroglyphs created by the ancestral Puebloans, most of which portray human figures. These carvings generally fit well within established archaeological and scientific interpretations of the past. One image, however, has drawn particular attention, a figure that some claim represents a sauropod dinosaur. This unusual carving, often referred to as the Anasazi dinosaur, has generated strong interest and prolonged debate among researchers and creationists alike. Supporters of creationist ideas point to this image, along with 3 nearby petroglyphs, arguing that their shapes resemble dinosaurs and may support alternative views of history. A detailed study published in 2010, however, disputed these claims. Through close visual analysis, researchers determined that the so-called dinosaur image is actually a combination of separate elements. What appear to be legs are formed by natural mineral deposits and mud staining rather than deliberate carving. The study also concluded that the other 3 dinosaur-like shapes are simply stains and visual illusions, offering no credible support for creationist interpretations. Although the dinosaur petroglyph claim has been thoroughly refuted, the surrounding region, distinguished by its 3 natural stone bridges, has a long and well-documented human history. Archaeological evidence indicates that ancestral Puebloan groups occupied the area as early as 7,500 BC. Roughly 1,300 years ago, they began constructing stone pueblos and storage granaries, turning the landscape into a significant archaeological site. European contact with the region did not occur until 1883, when gold prospectors arrived and uncovered signs of its ancient past. Later, archaeological investigations highlighted the Puebloans' advanced abilities in pottery making, architectural construction, and especially rock art. Among their innovations was an early example of graphical perspective found in a nearby carving, a technique used to create the illusion of depth. Today, Natural Bridges National Monument is renowned for its massive stone bridges, as well as its remarkable collection of petroglyphs. So this story isn't really about dinosaurs. It's about how easily patterns form, and how much of the past depends on who's doing the interpreting. Do you see a pattern here? Or are these just coincidences?